The moment that you are self-aware and the sooner that you really start to adopt a method that truly works for you, the sooner you become a millionaire.
What limiting beliefs do you discard from going to 5 to 6 figures of income?
5-figure, it's always
What limiting belief do you discard from 6 to 7 figures?
7 figures. Right now, if I can turn back time, I would tell myself that just invest in.
Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the Learning Podcast. And if you aren't sure, it's a Singaporean podcast dedicated to learning something new from every single guest on this show. And today I have with me Chloe. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, JJ, for inviting me. It's my honor to be here as well.
No, it's my honor. It's my honor. Some of her achievements. She has achieved a lot. She's an international speaker. She has taught options trading to tens of thousands of people. She has built a TikTok channel of over 200,000 followers. She's also the president of the Buffett Online School in Japan. She manages a 7-figure portfolio in her investments, and she also runs her own private investing community, Arigato Investor, with almost 6,000 subscribers as well.
That's right.
Yeah, so she has achieved a lot, right? But I think among all the things that she has done, what I'm interested to learn from her, it will be 3 things. It will be, how did she get to where she is right now? I think when I was young, right, when you talk to me about what is a millionaire, right, you think that, wow, the person is probably driving some Bugatti, Porsche, or what, right? Then you think that millionaires has access to something that you actually don't. But based on my preliminary stalking of Chloe on LinkedIn, right, she actually went through a traditional Singapore education system. You went to NYJC, you went to NTU, then you went to work at Straits Times as a journalist before you make that drastic roti prata transition to options trading and being a teacher there, right?
Yeah, actually I was working in 新民日报. That's even more drastic. I was writing in Chinese.
Okay, yeah. One thing that I was really impressed, right? I must give a disclaimer. I met Chloe before at a video shoot. So she speaks perfect English, Chinese, and I know you speak a bit of Japanese as well.
Yeah. I speak Japanese too.
That's crazy. So yeah, I'm curious to know in terms of reaching the 7-figure status, right? How did she get to where she is right now? I'm sure there are challenges, failures, lessons along the way. Not to say you want to follow her footsteps, but I'm sure that through her values, you can definitely learn something from her about. The second thing is that I'm curious to know how she had the courage to put herself out there. So I'm not sure if you guys know, right? The first time I met Chloe, actually, I saw her on a YouTube
channel.
Yeah, YouTube ad, right?
ads.
I'm sure you get that a lot of times, right?
Yes, so many times.
So the courage to put yourself out there, because your videos, I would say, has been seen by hundreds, or if not the whole Singapore, right? Because I buy ads for a living, right? So that's why I'm very fascinated from her standpoint. She's the one that has created hundreds of YouTube ads. What kind of video do you need to shoot to sell something, right? And obviously, she has a lot of experience doing that. In addition to that, she has also hosted hundreds of webinars, right? In terms of teaching people options trading. I think people fear something they don't understand. So I'm sure you get plenty of misconceptions about options trading. Because I myself, I also do trade a little bit of options, and it's really a real way to get additional income. But I'm curious to know from her standpoint in terms of, let's say, receiving a judgment from others. People don't know you. I'm sure you see many comments. Interested to know your thought process there. Yeah.
Sure, I think that's an interesting topic for
sure.
Yeah,
definitely. The third one is when to quit your job, right? As of today's recording, I think yesterday you just released a video on quitting your job, 100K finance job after learning about 3 things. I'll really recommend you to watch that video. This is not to say I'm at a similar position. Rob, if you're watching this, my boss, I'm sure you don't mind me talking about it. But the truth is sometimes I feel complacent and comfortable. And I think that perhaps a new environment would force myself to take myself to the next level, which is where it worked. Sorry, I love puns. So I know that you have just quit your job in January as well. So I'm sure that there's a lot of things that you have planned as well. And I'm sure what made you think about quitting your job? Because I would say, like what you said in your video, it is probably the dream to work in a company where everything's taken care of you. They're giving you sponsorships to fly to all these very big events, right? So very curious to know, because I have a lot of conversations with my friends. I want to quit my job, right? Then I always like to ask them, what's the alternative? And the conclusion I always come to is just finance security. Then after that, you can probably do some creative exploration. So, okay, that's a little bit of context. I know it's a bit long. Going all the way back to your beginning, right? Chloe, what kind of kid were you? I'm curious to know. Were you the kind of kid that got all straight A's? Were you the kind of kid that was average? Can you share with me a story about her?
Actually, the first half of my life, I actually grew up in China.
Oh,
So it was a highly competitive education background. And at that time, when I was very young, I spent most of the time with my grandma. And my grandma, she is somebody very, very frugal. So I think that I cultivated the habit of wanting to save money, wanting to be not anyhow spend money like carelessly since young. So as I turned 15, right, my dad, he has been working in China for the longest time. So at that time, I know that even though I was a very hardworking student, but my grades wasn't very good in China. Okay. So I know that if I continue to be that path, I wouldn't be able to get into a good uni. So that's when I suggested to my dad, I said, hey, Dad, I want to come back to Singapore.
What do you mean come back to Singapore?
Because my dad's Singaporean.
Oh, okay. Then your mom was...
my mom is from Guangzhou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then ever since they get married, like my dad has been just staying in China all the time because he was working there, right? He's being full-time employed. So I had a sister also born in China as well, same situation. So at that time when I told my dad, I want to come back here. And he said, are you sure? You know, like your English is really bad.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and in China, every education is all in Chinese, except the English subject, right? So it's almost like the opposite of Singapore.
Yeah.
So when I told my dad I wanted to come back, he said like, are you sure this is going to be very tough? And I said, I want to give it a try. So he said, why not you try this first? So he gave me a textbook of a primary 4 English language paper.
Wow.
And he asked me to go for it. I'm like, wow, I really don't understand.
Okay, and that was 15.
I was 15.
A teenager already.
I was a teenager,
wow.
But like the English drastic difference is so much. Yeah. But I just set my mind to do it. I said, no, if I continue to do this, I cannot go into a good uni. I have to come back to Singapore because I thought that I would have a better chance. So when I came back here, it was very, very tough because I have to change 80 degrees of the entire language model, right? And I literally forced myself to speak English every single day.
Wow.
And it was very tough because initially my accent was pretty strong. And there were some people who, like some of my peers, that kind of mock at me and laugh at me. But I think I developed my thick skin since then. Like I kind of didn't care what they think.
Wow.
Because I know that I need to improve, right? So I just keep on forcing myself to speak English. And I was having a period of time of D, D, F, F all the time for my English. And then after 1 year, after working hard for so long, I managed to get a B4 for my English.
Can I clarify, when you came to Singapore, do you go into a secondary school?
Oh, I didn't go into secondary school because if I go to secondary school, I had to downgrade for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to save more time. I went to a private school.
Okay.
But the private school that I went wasn't a very, very prestigious private school. It was usually people who could not get very good grade. Then they go there, a lot of Singaporeans as well.
Damn.
And they kind of didn't want to study. So the culture wasn't fantastic, but I think still good that I managed to meet some very good Singaporean friends. And then they like literally practice English together with me, very friendly to me. And that's how within 1 year I managed to get into JC. And I thought that was quite crazy. Yeah.
How did you pick up your English so fast? Like any secret tips? Because I'm sure, let's say for anyone in China, you are definitely an inspiration, right? To speak so well. Because I can't tell that you're from China as well, right? Because initially I suspected you were Taiwanese. So I couldn't really tell. How did you, any secrets to pick up the language? Because I find that's quite crazy.
I think that's just by forcing myself to speak every day. Like I know a lot of people are very good in terms of writing, but they're not very good in speaking because they feel embarrassed. Like, what if people can tell that I'm from a different country, my accent is funny, or maybe my vocab is not strong enough. They have a lot of fear, and that's why that is stopping them from improving. But I was thinking, if I want to master this language, I just have to go all out. I just have to speak. So, and on top of me forcing myself to speak every day, I also read. At first, I tried to attempt Straits Times. It was so tough. It's like for one sentence, I didn't understand 10 words. It was like so dry. So in the end, I decided to pick up a storybook. And that storybook really fascinated me because the storytelling was so magical because it's a magic story. And that's how I fell in love with reading English. Yeah. So over time, I just keep on doing the same thing. I still remember there was one time that I actually went to the library because I was failing my English all the time. And I was browsing the English corner and I actually saw a book called They Can Do It, You Can Too.
Oh, wow, so motivational.
And that is actually by Adam Khoo.
Wow, boom. Okay.
So he was the one who showed me like using English. Like that basically that was an English so-called textbook.
Wait, it's a storybook?
It's an English workbook that help you to train and improve on your English.
So Adam Khoo wrote that?
And it was basically Adam Khoo's name. So I don't know whether who wrote this, but I think Adam Khoo basically have co-author in this. Right? So that kind of like, wow, that's the first time of me.
Would it be right to say that Adam Khoo changed your life?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about this spirit of not giving up when learning English, right? Where do you get it from? Is it something that your father, your mother teach you, or is it something from your sister? Because it seems like this attitude, right? I mean, I tell you what I was doing at 15, I was just playing games all day long. I didn't even care what I was going to do. But obviously, because you came from a different environment, so the motivations for you to do as best as you can was there. The pressure was also there, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't easy. Where did it come from? Intrinsic, extrinsic? Did you talk to anyone? Do you have good friends? Or everything came intrinsically?
I think that's a very good question. I never really thought about that. My parents really didn't wanted me to, like, they never pushed me or forced me to study at all. So since young, I think I am self-driven and self-motivated in a way that I just want to make sure I do well in my own way. But unfortunately in China, it's so competitive. Like you just cannot outsmart everyone. And that was when I realized, okay, I gotta work hard. So I think since young, I am already a hardworking person, right? And then since I already made up my mind to come to Singapore and really go all out, in fact, there was so much stress. I not only have to pick up English, I need to pick up all the other subjects, all converted to English, especially like chemistry, physics, and all this, right? So there was a period of time that I was failing so much that I called my mom one day and said, "Oh, Mom, I don't know why, I just keep on failing." I was crying, right? And she is in China, right? And then I think I'm very grateful to my mom. She said that, "Oh, just go out shopping. Just go and have fun. Go and talk to your friends. Go and find your friends." And I was like, but I'm doing so badly. He said, "No, just go and relax." And then I just called one of my good friends in the private school and say, "Hey, Kauri, can you accompany me to go out just to have dinner and all this?" And that really gave me a lot of motivation. That conversation was good. It was very relaxed. And then the next day, I just keep on going again. Yeah, so I felt that it was maybe my parents, they never forced me, and that's why I end up wanting to work hard, like to pay respect to them, or like just to make sure that I do my due diligence as a daughter. Yeah.
At what point, right, do you feel like I got a hang of English?
At what point?
Yeah. Was it like, because I went to JC also. JC is crazy.
Yes.
Right? Like the GP, oh my God, it's crazy. Then at what point did you feel like you have a good grasp on JC? Because I'm sure when you went to JC, I'm not sure what kind of kid you were, because I was a kid also failed all the way. Because I went to Raffles by DS8. Wow. But I used direct admission, so I didn't enter via my academics. But how, like, I'm sure going to NYJC, did you feel like you have a good standard of English when you were at NYJC?
I felt that I have the base there. But, because my language model all the time has been in Chinese. So the way that I write, especially when you write in GP, right? Oh my God, that's like a different level, next level kind of writing. So I never truly felt that I have a good grasp of English until maybe after I came out to work.
That's after university.
Yeah, that's after university. And even till today, I don't feel that my grasp of English is very good. Really, I think like compared to like you guys as local, like the way that you guys can use certain like language structure, your vocab, it's way more advanced than me, I felt. Yeah, but I know as long as I just put my heart across, I can communicate this message. I think that is the most important thing. That's how I learned Japanese as well, right? Like I never consider myself as a pro in Japanese, but I can communicate. And I think that is the beauty of language. Yeah.
Okay, going to JC, right? I don't want to talk too much about JC also, but I felt like people don't talk more about, people talk about PSLE saying it's so stressed, O-level, but no one talks about how stressed A-levels is.
Oh my God,
how was A-levels for you? Because
A-level is
I almost
really
died.
stressed. Yeah, A-level is really stressed. I absolutely agree, because like the kind of, I think the standard compared to secondary school, the depth is so much higher, right? So much deeper. But I felt that I have certain advantage in terms of, because China mathematics was so hard. And I was failing all the time in China. Like I was getting like 70 marks, 60 plus marks. Then I will come here, I get 90 marks.
Wow, okay, got it.
So that I didn't have to focus so much on maths and all this. So I would just, once again, trying to improve on my GP, which is English. Yeah.
Got it. Upon finishing A-levels that period, right? Because I think after A-levels, you get to decide you want to go polytechnic. university, or some people want to go back to China or go to US, right? What was your thought process there in terms of, okay, what do I want to do for my the next step? Yeah.
Actually, since young, I always have this dream that I want to become a TV actress.
TV actress? Okay. Yes. I mean, you're sort of doing that right now, right?
Yeah, so I'm kind of building my own dream. Yeah. So after I get my A-level grades, which pretty good, I can go into Wikimwi, NTU, right? Then I told my grandpa, I say, I think I want to go to Hong Kong TVB to become a TVB actress.
Wow, okay.
And then he said, are you crazy? Like you already get a good grade, so you can go into uni, you should just go to uni. Yeah. So I felt that at that time, I wasn't very persistent in pursuing this dream. And I also kind of felt scared because, being a TV actress, everything, like the connection, everything is completely different.
Yeah, it's a different industry.
So it's a different industry. So in the end, I didn't pursue the path. So I went to uni, right? And during uni time, I think my love for drama, for acting is always there. So that's why I joined drama clubs and all this. And now I am doing like content creation. Like I become my own director in a way. Yeah. That was very fun. Yeah.
How was university for you?
University was, I think I had one of the best time in terms of exchange in Japan.
Was it when you picked up Japan or you knew Japanese before?
That was when I started to pick up Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because all the while I like watching anime, but I don't really understand what they're talking about. So I was thinking, okay, in uni, I want to unlock a new language skill. Then what is a better way is to go to a country that completely speak foreign language. And it's also something that I like, which is Japanese. So that's when I went there for half a year. I did homestay. I was going through the entire process of forcing myself to speak Japanese every single day.
Repeat the cycle. Oh my gosh.
And it worked. Yeah.
Nearing graduation, right? What was your thought process in terms of getting a job? Because I'm not sure how competitive like NTU is, right? Because I'm sure Singapore universities, I want to get a job, or what's your starting high pay, right? What was that thought process in terms of like say going back to China? Have you thought of going US? The thought process as a fresh grad or almost graduating.
So at that time, I never thought about going back to China because I always felt that the opportunity here is a lot more. And I just never come across my mind that I can go even further, like overseas, like US and all this. So I was thinking, okay, I start from Singapore first, because by then, all my family are basically migrating back. Yeah, my dad got retrenched when I was graduating that year. So he's coming back as well. So the entire family is coming back. So that's why I kind of felt the pressure because he lost his very well high-paying job, right? He was working in MNC back then. So I kind of felt like, oh my God, suddenly like my entire family, only I'm working because my sister is 9 years younger.
Wow.
So she is in poly, right? So that's why I felt like, okay, I want to get a job fast. So that's when I went into the first job, which is SK Jewelry, doing marketing. And the pay is definitely not fantastic, but I thought that was the first time I was introduced the concept of digital marketing. Yeah. And then 1 year later, I jumped to SPH, right? And I actually wanted to go into Strix Times, but there was no job offer at that time. So I went to 新民日报 because Chinese is something of my forte as well. So it's quite easy for me to get in. Yeah. And that's when I had like 3 years of career over there. Yeah.
If I can backtrack a bit, like in terms of, let's say, advice for just fresh grads in general, right? What do you think you wish you have known before you started this journey of entering the working world?
I felt that I kind of regretted my uni day that I did not work hard enough.
You didn't work hard?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like you have worked hard like since you came to Singapore, right?
I've been working very hard during A-level, during like my private school 1 year to go to A-level and all this. And because I worked hard for 3 years, right, I felt like, okay, time for me to relax a little bit. So when I went to uni, the spirit of wanting to keep on trying out different things, learning a lot of things, kind of disappeared. And I was just basically like having fun, right? Having fun, like enjoy my holiday, go travel and all this. Now, nothing bad about this. I get to travel, but I just felt that my working experience, I could have started it earlier. Like right now, I see a lot of youngsters, they are very, very ambitious. They already started so-called testing out the working experience even before they graduate, right? Like they will go and take up internship on their own. They will go and work part-time. Some of them take up real estate agents license, insurance agents license. And I thought that, wow, if I could have done that earlier, that probably would give me more career option. that I felt that maybe I could have developed a certain skill set even within the university time. So that will be one of the good advice to all the youngsters out there. Really try to develop different skill set, explore even when you are working, when you are in uni, because that's the best time. You are kind of like stress-free and you are free to explore a lot more things. Yeah.
Imagine if you started options trading when you're like 13. Oh, imagine where you would have been right
correct.
now.
Yeah. Or imagine I started don't just talk about options, can be just simple investing, like doing ETF, index. That will give me like at least another 5 years of runway, and that 5 years can change a lot. Yeah.
You mentioned that your father was retrenched on your final year of university.
Yeah.
When did investing / options trading come into the picture? Like, yeah, how did like, because I'm sure that affected you. The stress was on you. How did it? When was the concept of investing introduced to you?
So the first year when I graduated, I started my first job. That was when my dad already got retrenched, right? So at the back of my mind, I know that, wow, my pay is not very high, right? I need to think about how can I substantiate a better income for my family. So that was when I actually started to go and explore different kind of courses. So at first, I wasn't very interested in investing. My friend, right, he was interested, so he signed up for investing course. For me, I was more into marketing because I was in like marketing job in SK, right? So I was like, okay, why not? I started to do marketing, and that's when I went for one of the marketing course and started to have my own travel website because I love traveling so much.
Oh, travel website? Okay, I didn't know about it.
It's called Go Budget Travel. So I like budget traveling. So I started that, and it didn't bring me a lot of income, but it got me quite a lot of sponsored deals.
Oh, when you say income, what do you mean? Like sponsorship?
Like sponsorship or ad placement. No, I didn't get all this. I didn't manage to sell product online. But I kind of used the blog as a way of getting free hotel stay because there are readers, right? There are readers and all this. And I show them the stats, right? Oh, these are the number of readers I have. Would you want me to visit your hotel? I will do a free sponsored post for you, something like that.
So you're kind of like an influencer, content creator.
Correct. Yeah. So that was back in 2015.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Then when did the concept come?
When did the concept of
increasing your income? Because I do know that on certain podcasts you mentioned that you felt like your salary was not increasing as fast as it should.
That's right.
Like, was there the anger? Shit, I need to earn a lot more. Like how did that come into play?
So after 1 year of working in SK Jewelry, the second year I once again realized that, oh my God, how come my salary is not increasing at all, right? Even after 1 year, by right, there's certain kind of promotion, but it's just very stagnant. So that was when I wanted to venture into the next job, which is SPH, which gave me a higher income. But once again, I was working such a long hour. There is no end to it. And I just see my boss, they are basically working even harder than me. Right? They are doing like when we have to go out to do crime reporting, we need to call them. Can be in the middle of the night, they're still picking up our call to tell us to instruct how to do certain things.
At the press conference, we'll be there. You don't know what the press conference is.
So that was when I realized that, wow, I don't want my life to be like that. And at the same time, I see my dad, like after he come back, he couldn't get like equally high paying job. So in the end, he basically just choose early retirement. So for me, I felt that there's certain stress because if he just retire, like there is no more income, but there's also all the expenses coming out. That was when I realized that, okay, I think I need to learn how to manage the money for myself first, then eventually give them the confidence to also part some money for me to help them to manage. And that's when I started to learn about investing. But the journey wasn't easy. I lost a lot of money. In fact, I lost that money as well. But they didn't blame me.
Oh, wait, you took money from your parents, is it?
Yes.
How does that conversation like? So I mean, I'm sure your dad and mother trust you as well. But I'm sure it wasn't an easy.
It wasn't easy. Right? So it wasn't easy, especially there was a period of time that I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing options, and then I was more like trying to trade and go against the market. I was going against the market.
Oh, okay. You want that reversal?
Yes, I do. I wanted to do the reversal because I thought that, at that time the market has become so high.
Yeah, it cannot go higher.
It must go down, right? So that was when I betted, right, together with my friend. Actually, it was a joint account that we managed together.
Wow.
And then, oh my God, the market, like indeed, it went down for a while. And then we really made a lot of money. right? So that was when we thought that, wow, my gosh, we just have to keep on doing this, right? Then we're going to be like becoming a millionaire, right? So we didn't close the position, and we hope that the market will continue to go down.
What is it buying options on the
It's buying
index?
options.
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
correct.
Buying options is hardcore.
Yeah, it's very, very hardcore. And then we buy a lot of contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was when the market go down, we make a lot. But then when the market rebound back, oh my gosh, we literally just wiped out 50% of the account. Wow. And that was very, very scary because that was not just my money, but my parents' money also inside.
Trading psychology, like it takes, the market will teach you lessons. Like, because I have my fair share of making trades where I lost a lot of money, right? Talk us through that process. For people who don't trade, right, you don't understand that, what the losses, just, oh my God. Like, you don't believe it as a self-belief. You deal with a lot of internal conflict and conversations. How was that like? I'm sure the stress was quite crazy.
It was crazy because you feel very lost. You don't know, should I cut loss or should I actually hold on further? Maybe the market will turn.
Yeah, there's a little glimmer of hope.
Correct.
But the numbers don't change.
The number doesn't change, right? Especially if this number lasts for not just for a few days, but it's months and even
big numbers,
big
tens
number,
of thousands
right?
of dollars.
And that was when you will start to doubt yourself, like, oh my gosh, am I even do I even have the cut to do this, right? And that's why I think after going through the different market cycles, I realized that it's very easy to get emotionally attached because if you are looking at the market every day and if you, especially trying to do short-term trading, but if you don't have a proper system, I know some people are very good at trading. They are ruthless in entry and exit. But I just felt that I really don't have the emotion stability to be ruthless in all this. So that's when I realized, okay, trading is really not for me, right? And I don't like to stare at the market during middle of the night. I just want to enjoy my peaceful sleep, right? So that was when I started to gradually shift my approach towards more long-term investing, buying good businesses for a long period of time, and even just do very simple index, S&P 500, VOO kind of investing. And I don't even need to monitor the market, and the portfolio will naturally go up over time. It's not going to be get rich quick, but it's going to be like a 龟兔赛跑.
Sorry, my Chinese.
As a turtle and a rabbit, right? So it's like, I know the rabbit can go very fast, but they might also have their downfall. But, as a turtle, slow and steady, we know that we will win the race. And longevity is the most important thing when it comes to investing. Definitely. You just want to make sure you don't lose that amount of money that will make you regret and make you set back that, oh my gosh, what? I should have done that, right? You just want to make sure you stay invested in the whole game and let the market do the magic for you. Let time do magic for you. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of just investing in the S&P. I've been investing to the S&P since my university days. So just putting money in, basically. Because I don't feel like I have the skill set to do what Adam Khoo does. Or maybe, I'm sure you do all those valuation stuff. Going back to, I think you're doing this when you were at Straits Times, right? Like doing this kind of big crazy bets, right?
It's 新民日报.
Oh, sorry, I keep getting it wrong. Because you are a person that teaches hundreds of thousands of people how to trade options now. Right?
Yeah.
Where did you learn options from?
Okay, so at that time, I started learning actually value investing and then options.
What were the resources? Were they online courses or seminars?
It was actually a seminar. It was actually Sean's class. So value investing, then inside he started to teach about options, right? Okay. However, that options, it's a very, very safe, basically selling put options and all this. And I thought it was very slow.
Slow.
It was very slow, right? Value investing is very slow. And that's what most people tend to think, right? So eventually you felt that, it's so slow. I think I need to try out something else. So instead of practicing value investing, I end up going do all the funny option trades, and that's how I rack my entire account. But that gave me the introduction to options, and then after there are additional courses, right? At that time, actually, Chicken Genius was teaching as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can you share more about Chicken Genius teaching options? Because I only knew about Chicken Genius 2018-19, so I didn't know his past. What was his past life?
I think
because I know he doesn't really like to talk about it.
He doesn't like to talk about it. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether.
So you learned from him essentially, lah.
Yes.
Wow.
I attended one of his programs. And I think he is a very good teacher. He explore options way deeper as compared to what Sean taught us, right? So he really gave us a different way of looking at options. However, eventually he decided to quit this entire industry and do YouTube full time. I totally respect that. Yeah. I also do not know the exact reason why he quit. So I cannot say because I don't know for sure. Okay.
Like for Chicken Genius, were there like offline seminars? Is it like
Okay. Basically, it's pretty much like an inner group.
How do you find out about it? I'm just curious.
Oh, because he's Sean's friend.
Oh, he's Sean's? Oh,
so
I didn't know.
After I attended Sean's program, then Sean would introduce Chicken Genius program at that time.
At that time, he wasn't known as Chicken Genius, right?
He was known as Ken. So we just know him as Ken Teng. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference in how Sean taught options and Chicken Genius? You say that Chicken Genius had did he go into because honestly, a lot of his videos I watch, I feel too dumb to watch it. Like what Fed interest rate, does he go into the Greeks? What was the biggest difference?
I think for Chicken Genius, he really dived way deeper into options. For Sean, he only teach very basic like selling put options. And then at that time, basically, that was a course I attended, very basic selling put options combined with value investing. So it's very safe kind of approach. There is no talking about buying options whatsoever, right? There's no additional at the money, out of money, all this. No need, right? Basically, you just sell put at the price that you want to buy. That's it, as simple as that.
If it's above, then you get to collect the cash.
Correct, yeah. So if it fall below, then you just collect the shares, but you should be happy because you want to buy long-term wise, right? So that is a very simple concept. But when I attended Chicken Genius program, that was when all the different elements comes in, right? Out of money, in the money, right? What to do when what happened when the market goes against you? What strategy can you use? Or what is the best strategy with the bull market and all this?
Was he teaching more like day trading style of trading or like monthly?
Not day trading. Yeah. However, when it comes to options, it's always limited by time. So you do have to close your position, but it's never day trading. Okay.
All right. Moving on to, let's say, the transition to working with Sean, right? Because I know that in many podcasts you say that mentors change lives, and obviously Sean is a big mentor to you previously, right? What was that story?
I felt that I'm very grateful to Sean in terms of the skill set that he imparted on me. Not just, introducing me to investing, right, as a complete beginner back then, but he also gave me the opportunity to really practice, as I improve on my investing journey, even though I wasn't very confident, but he will always give me stage time to just say, hey, you should come and share. Because the best way
to his courses,
to his community members, because we are inside the same community, and then he does need some sometimes guardians, right, to take care of the new students. At the same time, new students, they want to have a gathering, then we are there to facilitate and all this, right? So I felt that gave me the first airtime to share my own experience, even though I do not consider to be very successful because I also just got started not too long ago. But he said, as long as you share from the bottom of your heart.
Share from your experience.
Share from your experience. Your newbies would love to learn how you go through this journey as well, right? So over time, it gave me more courage in sharing, and also because as you share, as you teach, you need to be better. Right? Because you will go and do more research, right? Just to make sure that you cover yourself, right? You don't anyhow say anything, right? So that also gave me more, I think, discipline to read out more about investing. And then there was a period of time that I remember that kind of basically changed my entire life. How did it go was, I was still working in SPH, right? Then there was one time that Sean needed to go to Japan to conduct a class, right? And he was basically asking in the community, say, hey, I'm going to Japan, we need some help. Anybody who speaks Japanese, we can all go there to conduct this class together.
It's like fate, it's like fate.
Yeah. So that was when I was at first I was a bit afraid. I was but who am I, right? I'm not even good enough to teach or share anything yet, especially to a crowd of foreign students, right? Japanese, right? But then my friend, who actually together with me at that time, right? We signed up for this course together. Then he said, oh no, you should just go, right? Because you speak Japanese, right? This is your chance to explore. Then I was like, okay, then I'll go for it. So that's how I went to Japan and conducted the first value investing class to Japanese people. And they was doing simultaneous translation. And they were struggling so much because I felt that they kind of look confused. They don't really know what they're doing. Then in the end, I just stopped using English and I said, like I say in Japanese, right? Is it okay if I use very, even children can understand kind of Japanese level, talk to you guys and teach you guys about investing? And they all like so happy when they start to hear Japanese from me. And that's when the whole thing started. That's how I eventually become the head of taking charge of the Japan business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And can I clarify, when you flew to Japan, were you still working at SPH? Like you took
I
leave,
was still working SPH.
Wow.
So it was like my side hustle at that time.
Yeah, side hustle.
Yeah.
Then after that, how was the transition like? Okay, because I'm sure you also founded this community called Invest Travel Play as well.
Yeah.
Like, what was the story between like all these are happening at the same time? I think you quit your job first, then you created Invest Travel Play. Then I think you were still in Sean's community. How was that transition like?
So during that time, one of my course, Invest Travel Play, become Skills Future Claimable, right? So that was when I decided to because I was doing together with my friend.
And
right?
this was still when you were in SPH,
I was
when you made it Skills Future
correct.
Claimable. Wow, that's because I'm sure the paperwork there was crazy, right?
Yeah, so we engaged an agency to help us do that. We didn't do everything ourselves. We outsourced it to agency and we host our course under the agency, right? So we kind of run like 1 to 2 batch and we felt that, wow, people really want to learn. And
I'm sure you liked doing it.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing it. So that was when my friend asked me, hey, do you want to consider quitting your job to do this, like run this business full time? So I was very scared because all my life I'm very comfortable with stability, right? And my father has been giving me a lot of stability over the years as he worked, right? So I was very, very afraid. But at the same time, I just at the back of my mind, I was like, okay, since there is indeed certain sources of income coming in already from the Invest Travel Play classes I conducted 1 to 2 times while working at SPH, I was like, okay, let's give it a go. Because at that time, I was also part-time side hustle with Sean's company, right? So when I get to travel overseas, I also get paid as a trainer as well. So I know that, okay, regardless if this investor travel didn't really take off, but at least I still have some income, side hustle income.
Do you mind if I ask, was it like let's say your full-time income, did you want something that was more or less equal or 50% of what you were taking? Like how was that calculation like in your head for you?
So what happened is, because back then seminar was a lot more expensive because it's physical. Yeah. So usually it's like if you join a 3-day class, back then in Japan, 3 days was about, I think, $4,000. Yeah. So as a trainer, if you conduct the class, you get paid one student's price. Yeah. So if me and my co-trainer, 2 people together, we get paid $4,000 for 3 days. Yeah. Right? So I was like, wow, this is literally like more than my almost or if not more than my 1 month pay. Yeah. Right? Because my 1 month was 3K. Yeah. Right? So if I can conduct 1 to 2 trainings, I literally cover my entire month. Yeah. Right? So that's why it gave me more confidence to quit. And then I was doing my Invest Travel Play at the same time. That was bringing me also pretty good income because people get sponsored, right, by the government credits and all this, right? So, but then it only lasted for half a year before I decided not to do Invest Travel Play anymore, because at that time I left my job to co-fund this business together with my friend. But in the end, our relationship didn't turn out to be very well. So in the end, we didn't continue this business. So I felt that it was quite a shame, because if I know how to handle the relationship better, then we would have probably really take off even better.
Invest Travel Play.
Yeah.
Because I had my fair share of, let's say, not to say bad dealings with business partner, but eventually the relationship just didn't turn out well, right? I'm sure, what do you learn out from that? Because I'm sure the conversations were hard. Like, how did that turn out for you?
I think at that time, I think not being very grateful of what are my friends' strength, and like, I just keep on thinking that, I'm doing all the thing, you just do the talking, you just think, right? Like that, I'm doing all the hard work. So I felt that that was actually the fault on my end, that I didn't see, actually, I need that person to think, right? Because I am all the time an executional person. I do not have the big picture. I do not really know how to plan ahead, right? But I didn't see that at the time. I thought that, like I was doing all the hard work. How come you don't even do that? And then we basically get paid at the same time, right? So that was when I realized that, from this, really understand your own strength and weakness, and find someone can really compliment you. And if the person can compliment you, learn to appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Moving on to that transitions to Sean Company, right? Because could you give an introduction about the next level? I know that you guys do a lot of educational programs, right? What particularly were you attracted to by from the next level?
So at that time, actually, it wasn't even called Next Level. It was called Buffer Online School.
Oh, okay.
So Sean, he started this company called Buffer Online School because he basically sold off his previous company and then he started this. And because I was at the age of, like breaking away from invest, travel, play, so Sean felt that my skill set, he see my desire to really become a speaker, become a trainer.
To the next level.
Yeah. And he gave me the opportunity. And he offered me this partnership that we start this company together and we scale Buffer Online School together. And because my strength is in Japanese, so my key focus is growing the Japanese side of the business, while he and other team members would take care of Singapore and the rest of the place, like including Hong Kong as well, right? So because at that time, I already know how to speak. He trained me how to do it. So right now, I just need to make sure I use the same skill set and bring in more students for the company. So that was my key focus back then.
When it came to, let's say, hosting, I'm sure your first few webinars, right? You hosted hundreds of webinars, right?
Oh.
How did the first one go? And how did you eventually improve exponentially? Because I'm sure with repetition,
yes,
you're repeating the same thing over and over and over again, right? How is that like? Because to put yourself in a room with hundreds of people listening to you, right? You need to have the skill to get their attention, engage them. I'm sure there are a lot of small things that comes into play. I'm sure Sean is super experienced and he taught you, right? But nothing beats doing it yourself.
Yeah,
right?
that's
what
right.
did you realize when you put yourself in a screen where hundreds of people are there, and your job essentially, if I'm not wrong, right, is to really convince them to get into the course as well, right? How is that like?
So before that webinar things even came about, that was after COVID, right? Before COVID, actually, we do everything physical, right? So I still remember the first time that I needed to go on stage to speak, to share. I felt so nervous. I felt like I did such a bad job.
Really?
I felt like everybody is judging me because I was really that bad at that time. But I think Sean has always been very, very supportive in terms of he will give me feedback how to improve. And then he will not, because of this one bad experience, he will say, okay, then next time you should not speak. He will not. He will always give you a chance to improve, right? So he said, okay, next time you're going to speak again, but this is what you should work on, right? And that's how I think I developed my confidence more and more because he has been guiding me. So transiting back to the COVID, right? Since COVID, we started speaking webinars and all this. I think the process is the same, right? At first, I felt very nervous because I've been so used to talking to people, right? But right now, everything is in front of camera, right? And we basically start to learn. I observe how he does it because Sean is always so-called the pioneer in the industry or in our company, right? He's the pioneer in terms of how he does the webinar. Then I see what he does. And then I will take notes and I will try to model after, right? Whatever things that he is doing effectively, how to engage a crowd, how to persuade people even without meeting them. All these are something that I pick up by observing. And then after that, I will rehearse. I will rehearse a lot of time at the back. And until the point that I felt like, okay, this at least I'm like 70% there. And then when I go on air, that's when I know my foundation is there. And of course, at first I was very nervous, especially the first few seconds. It was like, oh my God, 100 over people. Because back then was actually 300, almost 300 over people watching in Zoom. I felt so nervous. But over time, I just felt like it was so fun, right? Like engaging with the students. And actually, behind every single student, there is their story, right? Their family, the reason why they want to start investing. So I felt that there's a lot of value that we can add by inspiring them to at least get started. What
were the biggest lessons you learned during your period at the next level? Because I'm sure you learned a lot. You conducted you shot so many ads as well. Actually, I want to get to that as well. But what were the biggest things you have taken away? Because I'm sure at a point of time when you did decide to leave the next level, right? Were you complacent? Or not to say complacent. Well, there must have come a point of time where you felt like, I want to do something else as well, right? How deep were you into that? The lessons that because I think you're very fortunate to have, let's say, a mentor, because it's quite clear that Sean is a good employer.
Yes.
Like he'll give you trust, and he'll train you up, give you criticism, constructive criticism as well, right? The biggest takeaway from the next level, at least in your 4 years there or 5 years there.
I felt that my biggest takeaway is, I think firstly, just like what you said, I feel very fortunate to have a very good boss like Sean who trusted me and really gave me a lot of opportunity for growth. And I felt that something super important is we need to learn to be proactive to really pick up that high income skill set, especially for people who want to start their own business. At the end of the day is you need to learn about how to, attract people to come to you, right? Instead of you trying to keep, if you keep on trying to get people to buy stuff from you, it become very salesy and pushy. So I felt that sales is something that's a super high income skill set. Super high income skill set. In the past, I didn't even believe that I will become a salesperson. Actually, I even didn't believe that. I felt that, wow, salesperson, very, very pushy all the time and all this. I didn't like them, right? And in the end, I felt that actually if you do sales right, your customer will be grateful to you, right? Like you are literally helping them to solve their needs, solve their problems. And if you do it right, people will become your raving fan. And they're still happy even though they pay you, right? And I think this is one of the high income skills that I learned from Next Level. And on top of that, I also learned to step out to brand myself online, right? Because in the past, I was just doing all those offline things, I never think about social media and all this. So once again, it was Sean who started branding himself online first. And he started doing TikTok.
I know him as the One Punch Man.
His YouTube One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, he showed me possibilities that what can be done. And then I was thinking, if Sean can do that, why not I just model, right? Then I started doing something similar. And that's how my channel took off as well. So I always felt that he gave me a lot of inspiration. It's the light, that guide me to different paths and show me that different kind of possibilities that a person can have. Because if you ask me 10 years ago, would I imagine myself being a creator? No, not at all, right? Would I imagine myself being an investor that managed a 7-figure? No, right? But he showed me the possibilities.
You talked about sales being a super high income skill, right? And that's why I want to transition to the topic of YouTube ads, right? Because you're probably shot hundreds of YouTube ads, right? What makes a good YouTube ad? Because at the end of the day, like what you're saying, right? You don't want to be salesy. You don't because I'm sure your intention, or at least for me, even when I sell, right?
Yeah.
I know I can help the client.
Yes.
I know I can. And sometimes they might reject me, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But on your point, right? Having shot hundreds of YouTube ads and having practically been seen by the whole of Singapore, right? What have you learned from shooting hundreds of YouTube ads?
I think firstly, I have to give credit to the Next Level marketing team because I didn't come up with the script.
Oh, okay.
They are the one who came up with the script. And of course, some scripts perform better and that's why the ads become more evergreen. Some scripts don't, right? So it's always about testing and learning. So me as a speaker, I felt my job was very easy. I just need to narrate that script. Yeah. Of course, I do have to make sure that the script, whatever things that they say, kind of align with what I believe in. So sometimes I will do some fine tuning and all this. But it's more to me, it's just speaking, right? It's narrating. And that's why I don't think that I'm very expert level in terms of writing ads and all this. I was just the person in front. I was just the video talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the mastermind will be the marketing team.
Yeah, the marketing team, they are doing a very good job. Yeah, they think about hooks. And then, and of course, as I was shooting the video, I also start to think about, then how can I make my own, let's say my YouTube channel or my TikTok videos have more attractive hooks and all this. So I use those platforms as my testing ground to learn what I learned from, to practice what I learned from.
Because essentially, I mean, you're in a job that pays you to learn how to apply those skill set on yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Have anyone ever like came forward to you and said, "Oh, I saw you on the YouTube ad." Like,
Yes.
how's that reception like? I'm sure you get mixed responses. I'm sure comments wise, you also see like tons of like negative comments.
Yeah.
There's tons of good comments as well. Right? How do you deal with that? Because I think when I first started like putting myself out there as well, I think I haven't been very consistent. But when I say, "Oh, negative comments," sometimes it gets to your head, all that kind of stuff. Right? How do you? Because at the same time, it's also something you do in your job as well. So it's something that it comes along with the package of doing it. But like, what's the thought process around, let's say, dealing with hate or dealing with all these kind of naysayers?
I mean, at first, I got affected, definitely, right? Because nobody wants to be criticized, right? But over time, I just felt that, at least, like when I was doing my TikTok channel or whatsoever, well, at least I know those haters help to push out the variety of that video. So I think, okay, not too bad, in a way that you guys are helping me, right, to spread the message as well. So gradually, I just think that it's okay, people can say what but I think no one can have 100% like from everyone. So I respect some people don't like me. It's okay, right? But I know as long as my message can be conveyed across to people who like my content and they find that whatever thing is valuable, then that's good enough. So I want to focus on who I think I can help, right? And at the same time, even though there's a lot of negative people online, but actually I think in real world they are nice. Because in real world, none of them have ever come up to me and say, "Wow, Chloe, like you are never say anything bad about me."
Okay.
In fact, in
keyboard
real
warriors.
World, they are just keyboard warriors. And in real world, they are either they see you, they recognize you, but they don't talk to you, or they are actually very polite. Because when I go out there, there was one time I was even wearing a mask, right? I wearing a mask, I was buying my salad. And then the person who helped me to do my salad, serve my salad, say, "Hey, are you the person on YouTube, the YouTube girl?" Then I was like, "Huh? You can recognize me?" I was wearing a mask. Then she said, "Yeah, I can recognize you from your eyes." I'm like, "Oh, wow, thank you. Thanks for watching my video." Yeah, so there are people who recognize me, and actually they are all nice. Never come and attack me. In fact, they praise about my videos. I was like, "Oh, wow, thank you." Yeah.
Got it. Can I clarify? Because at the same time, okay, this is where it gets to, let's say, the point at which you decided to make the decision to leave the next level, right? I'm sure you put a lot of thought into that, right? What was that thought process like?
So I think yesterday when I published that video why I quit my 100K job, I kind of shared some insights over there as well. The first thought process is, do I have enough income even after leaving the job? Because I think, to be frank, I felt that the job was actually pretty well paid, right? It's 6-figure, right? And it's also doing something that I'm good at, I like. So most people couldn't comprehend at first, like, why do I have to leave the job, right? But at the back of my mind, I know that if I continue to stay in the company, I cannot do what I'm doing today. Like, for example, coming here in the middle of the afternoon, doing a podcast with you, or running my own community, because it's kind of like against with what the company is offering, right? So that's why I felt that if I want to do something that is truly meaningful to me, I have to step out of my comfort zone, right? So once again, I'm just seeing Sean. I felt that he is very, very good at what he's doing, and he set up his own business, and he literally have a team of people who want to support his vision, right? But I know over time, I felt that my vision start to be different from what they want to go, right? Where they want to go. And if I continue to be there, I don't think I will be happy, right? I felt that it will be a lot of misalignment, and I couldn't do the things that I want, right? So that was when I eventually think that, okay, never mind, I'm just going to leave, even though I will not have the 100K income, but at least I know I tried, right? And then at least I also know that when I leave, I did not leave like without any preparation. I have my savings, right? I have my own investment, and I also have the skill set to at least set myself at a better ground compared to other entrepreneurs who never thought through all this and they just quit. Yeah, so I don't think that is a very healthy approach, because you will be putting yourself into a lot of stress. You should plan first. And I literally have been thinking about it for 1 year before make that decision. Yeah.
Were you building Arigato Investor like what, next level, or is like something that's not allowed,
okay.
is it? Or
So I was allowed to build my Arigato Investor brand. Yeah. But just, as a way of organic. Organic traffic.
No paid lah.
No pay. And then in the end, it's basically driving whoever my followers to the next level options program.
Okay.
Right? So that is what I'm allowed to do, but I cannot do my own paid community. Right? I cannot build something that I truly belong, think that is mine.
Side hustle.
Right? Yeah. So, but I'm very grateful that they even allow me to do the Arigato Investor as a full-time employee. I think Sean is very generous to give us the liberty to do so. And that's why it also gives me that foothold that I need to pivot like what I'm doing right now.
You mentioned about a split in vision, right? I'm not sure you're able to share like what vision he has. If you're able to share, that'd be great. But then how different was that vision, and like what is your vision? And this goes to what you're doing next, right? Because you have just quit your job. I'm sure this podcast will be a nice like time capsule video of where you are right now, because I'm sure next 2 years, 3 years, you'll be building something very big for yourself. What was that like?
So for myself, I think firstly is the restriction that I cannot build my own community, right? And I felt that sometimes, even though options is fantastic, which is very powerful, but I know not everyone can do options well.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Actually, I was initially going to ask you, do you feel like options trading is for everyone? Because there are some people who have, if you have gambling tendencies, right? Stay with options.
Yeah. It's just like trading, right? Trading can be a very powerful skill set, but it's also not for everyone. Value investing can be very powerful. Warren Buffett become billionaires, multi-billionaires, but it's not for everyone as well, because some people just don't have the patience, right? So that's why I felt that as I grew as an investor and I see so many students who come and go, some people make it, some people don't, right? And that's when I realized that if it's not for everyone, then how about those people who just cannot have the time or the energy to truly go and master options, right? And that's when, to me, at the back of my mind is, can I do something that really no-brainer, like anyone can do without even monitoring the market? And that's why I've set up my Arigato investing community, which is really using index fund, using ETF, but build it in a way that there is accountability, right? Because everybody can tell you, you just buy S&P 500.
Yeah.
But how many people actually do that?
No, not before.
Exactly, right? So everybody can tell you that, you should go to gym because it's good for health, you're going to build muscles. But how many people do that? Right? So that's why I felt that something is missing. It's not just the knowledge, it's about the accountability.
Applied knowledge. Right?
It's applied knowledge, and then really doing something together that motivate you to keep going in this journey. Because once you build a habit, then eventually you don't even need a community. You will just go to gym by yourself. Right?
And it's a habit that will have long-lasting impacts on you, because S&P over if you're just going to buy an S&P.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to buy, or some of my colleagues as well.
Yeah, correct.
Have you bought it?
Exactly.
And most of them don't buy. Okay, ask them to join the community.
Yeah, most of them don't buy, right?
Yeah.
They either think that it's very scary, or they think that, I might as well just invest in unit trust or whatsoever. Or maybe they think that, okay, I want to be very ambitious. I want to do trading. I want to do options and all this. But just like I said, not many people can make it. It's like up and down. So end up they waste a lot of time. But if you have just used those time to just buy S&P 500, you'll be much well off as compared to where you are, right? Because I see my own portfolio as well. If I started just buying S&P 500 10 years ago, right, 2015 when I first started, then I think today it's not going to be just a million. It will probably be multi-million, right? So that's when it's only through my own learning and from me observing tens and thousands of students who come and learn, I felt that how can I serve them better? But at the same time, the company, it's not aligned with this, because this seems something too simple, but sometimes simple things work, right? So that's why I want to do something that
you need
matters
to
to me.
See what makes commercial sense as well.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That's why the underlying assumption is that options trading is for everyone.
Yeah.
Then you want to get as much market share of that.
Yeah.
Got it. Moving on to what you have next. So basically, if I'm not wrong, right? You want to have this community where it's basically accountable to each other.
Yes.
I'm sure there are people that subscribe for paid services as well,
Yeah.
also consulting, right? How does that look like? What are your plans over the next 2 years?
Okay, so for myself, my whole entire vision is to build an online community that every month we basically just come together and I will update them about the market and what I am doing with my own portfolio. Because like I said, over time, I'm shifting more and more of my individual stocks or even options position to more towards ETF investing. Of course, having said that, it's not going to be 100% ETF. I still want to invest in certain good businesses using stocks and options, but I want to literally reveal to them how I am shifting my portfolio so that to give them the confidence that, oh, wow, this is exactly what Chloe does, right? I'm not just saying for the sake of saying, I'm not teaching, I'm literally showing what I do, right? So that you have more reference and more confidence to even start this entire process. Because I remember just 2 months ago when I set up this community, I share with them, I do my own stock portfolio. I also do it on my CPF. And some of the students already started taking action in investing their CPF and using what I'm teaching.
And CPF is very underrated.
Yeah, underrated. But then like they also get about 6% in just 2 months, which I feel very proud of them because I felt that it's the community that gives them confidence to really do the right thing. So in the next 2 years, I will continue to build this community. And because it's just me, one person, I don't have a lot of headcounts that I need to be responsible for. And that's why the cost price can be so much lower as compared to you going for other.
No big overheads.
Yes, right. I understand the reason why they sometimes need to charge so high is because they have so many people they need to be accountable for.
Yeah.
Right? Who is going to pay for them if they are not making money?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just lean, right? And I think that's what I also learned from doing business is I don't want to be responsible for too many headcounts. I want to run it as lean as possible so that I have the freedom to do what I like. At the same time, I don't need to price too high, but I'm still able to serve people. Making it accessible as well.
Making sure the impact is as much or if not even more. Because I feel like the simple things would really make a difference.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Chloe, thanks so much for sharing. I'll now move on to just some other random topics, right?
Sure.
I think building a community, right, it's very underrated. I think I've been, for a period of time I was trying, but I just couldn't really make it work. How, when, where, why, like how do you build a community? Just the basic assumptions that it takes to build a great community.
How do I build a community? Actually, I never think that it's something that I ever think about, there's a system. Basically, I'm just sharing what I do.
Okay.
And
very simple.
Very simple. And this is exactly what Gary Vee said, right? That you don't need to think about what content to create. You just document, right? You just document your life. And that's why every morning I make it to the habit that I will wake up and I will read. And as I read, I reflect, I write down what I learn, and I just share. It's as simple as that. And I felt there's a lot of value because it's authentic. It's authentic sharing, authentic insights that I learn. And a lot of all this information, people don't get it because they're constantly swayed by all those market news whatsoever, right? But I felt that I want to build a community that's grounded based on true lasting investing principles. And basically, I'm just sharing what I do, right? So I think people over time, they come to enjoy this and felt that this is useful. And that's why they stick to it.
I think it's a very different kind of marketing. Previously, it was really just pushing out. Right now, you're really just sharing your process. There'll be bound to be people that comes by your channel and say, "Oh, I like what you're doing." Then you just go along the journey.
So I wouldn't say that I've cracked the code yet. I'm like, my YouTube channel is only like 6,000 subscribers.
Hey, still a lot more than me. Right?
I mean, like we are all in this process of trying to crack our code. So most importantly is we just have fun in this process.
In this podcast, you shared a lot about how books have made a difference, like the book of Adam Khoo, right? And obviously you read a lot. I see like your LinkedIn, your book list is crazy, right? There's an 80-20 rule, 20% of books that makes 80% of the difference, right? What were the books that made 80% of difference on your life?
I really felt that it's this book by William Green, Richer, Wiser, Happier.
Okay, you had him in a podcast, right?
I love it so much that because a lot of time when I first pick it up, because I think it's an investing book, right? And I want to improve on my investing. But after I read it, I realized that investing is not just investing, it's about life, because how you live your investing is how you live your life as well, right? Okay. And then at the same time, it gives me the kind of mindset shift and the stability and the humility that I need as an investor. And I think because the book also coupled with the recent recession, like the recent bear market, that really just made me humble myself further as an investor, right? What made me think that I can always, like constantly get a lot of high percentage.
Or beat the
right?
S&P.
Beat the S&P 500. Why not sometimes I just do something that's simple? Just buy the S&P 500, right? So, and I also realized that great investors, they are all very humble, right? And the thing is, in order for them to be so good at the game, they really deep dive so much of every single companies. And I just ask myself, do I have the capability?
I feel too stupid to do that.
Or do I have the passion to do that?
Yeah.
Right? So that was when I realized that, especially that book, and after that I went to Berkshire last year, when I really see those investors in person, then you just think that, oh my gosh, like you are so far off from the game.
Yeah.
And they are all so good at what they're doing, but yet they still, once again, keep on thinking that they constantly need another person to counter check, are their arguments flawed, or what are the perspectives that they probably never thought of. They're all so humble. So that was when I realized that, oh my gosh, I really need to humble myself more. Not just as an investor, but also as a person.
Were there any other books that made that crazy difference for you?
One of the book is The Richer, Wiser, Happier. The second book that I like a lot is also The Joys of Compounding.
Okay.
By Garden Bay. Right, I just interviewed him this morning.
Oh, okay.
So I think over time I grew to like books that don't just talk about that subject. There's so many great investing books, right? But they just talk about investing. And I felt that it was a bit dry. But these two books, they combine life lessons inside. Something that it's about mindset, about emotion, about psychology. It's also about relationship.
Whoa, that's related.
Yeah, so Richer, Wiser, Happier actually has a lot to do with relationship as well. So that was when I realized that I like this kind of more holistic picture because we are not just about making money all the time, right? And of course, I also enjoy Gary Vee's 12 and a half, right? I like the book a lot. And also the Almanac of Neville Remington.
Oh, Neville Remington. Oh my God, I'm a big fan too.
Oh, that is a very good book. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to some last questions. I think I wrote this here. Yeah. What limiting beliefs do you discard from going to 5 to 6 figures in income? Is it 5 figures? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, 5 to 6 figures.
Okay.
What limiting belief? I think 5 figure, it's always something that I think most people can do, because 1 year 5 figure, you basically just work for full-time employment, you can get it, right? So in the past, I never believed that I have the ability to create 6-figure income until I surround myself in an environment that other people are doing it.
If everyone is around you with 7 figures, you better buck up. 6 figures.
Yeah. So when everybody is, that means they show you the possibilities of what can be done to unlock that 6 figures. And that 6 figure doesn't have to be from full-time employment. Of course, if you have a full-time employment with 6 figure and you're happy, then good, right? However, I know a lot of people are not very happy with their job and they constantly complain about their job.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then you need to find a way to make up of the income. So in my opinion, it's really about learning how to do marketing, right? Branding, and then eventually sales conversion.
Super high income.
Super high income. Because if nobody buy your product, it's either you are not giving enough value or you are giving value but people don't see the value. But you are giving value, you see? So if you are able to package it that get people to pay you, not only will you enrich yourself, you're also making the whole entire process sustainable, that you can literally give more value and you get paid and then you can keep on doing this. Isn't that the best job ever, right? So I really felt that content creator is one of the best career for me. I see that as a lifelong journey because remember going back to Steve Jobs, he said, right? You can only connect the dots when you look backwards, right? So I remember many, many years back, I wanted to become a TV actress because I wanted to face the front, right? But I didn't manage to do that. So right now, I create my own show, right? I create my own...
full control.
Yeah, full control. Direction. And the most beautiful thing is I have liberty to do what I want to do. And at the same time, when people trust me, they like my content, they buy my program, I also get paid as a content creator. So I felt that this is something very meaningful and it can be something that I'm passionate about doing lifelong.
All right. Thanks for sharing. What limiting beliefs do you discard from 6 to 7 figures? Because it's like a 10x, right?
Yeah.
So that's an entirely different level.
I think 7 figures, right now, my goal, I still remember on my dream board, I write like a few years ago, I wanted to hit my $1 million. And that is through investing. And I finally managed to achieve that through like so many years of investing. So to me, hitting 7 figures is definitely not easy. And I still doubt myself that, will I be able to scale my business to a 7-figure business? Because right now, I think making 6-figure is okay, right? But how to do that in 7-figure, that is a different level. So I think I still have the limiting belief of whether will I be able to make a 7-figure business, but that is definitely my goal. So my next thing I need to do is, if I don't know how to from 6 to go to 7, then I better go and learn from people who actually made it into a 7, right? And by learning how they do it, at least, and I experiment it, I will know whether am I on the right track. And I think also very importantly is, at the end of the day, is it indeed the track that I want to go? Why not just 6-figure? Sometimes if 6-figure is comfortable, you're happy, it will be probably better than the 7-figure that is miserable.
Yes. I feel like that was what Gary Vee says.
That's what Vanessa Lau, she experienced herself. Like she scaled a 7-figure business, but she was so miserable that right now she's taking a step back and she is enjoying her life and still making 6 figures. So that's also the question I wouldn't know because I haven't been to that stage yet.
Okay, but at least in net worth you are. All right. Some other questions, just generic questions. Thoughts on Adam Khoo?
I think he's great. I really think that he gives a lot of value. I admire him so much in terms of his content creation ability. Like, I think he's one of the largest financial YouTuber, right? Not just in Singapore, but in Asia as well. Like he's almost 1 million. Right? So I really respect that. And I respect all his consistency all over the years. Like he is the pioneer. And even until today, he's doing it. So I can definitely see he has a lot of passion.
Got it. Okay, some ending questions. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice? I think really I wish that I can start investing earlier. However, I know investing, a lot of people, when we first started, we always want to get rich quick. So we always try to do a lot of funny things, right?
A lot of funny things.
So if I can turn back time, I would tell myself that just invest in S&P 500. You will do even better, even way better than you are today. Sometimes things are simple, but that is the truth, and that is proven. And we don't need to go for complicated things to be wealthy. And in the entire journey of doing simple things, it's also a happy journey.
What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Worst advice? That I think...
Who did it come from?
Worst advice. I really don't think there is worst advice. Or maybe people just kind of trying to dissuade you from trying different things. Because you just wouldn't know whether will you be able to make it or not. I think a lot of times they might want to protect you, and that's why they try to dissuade you. But at the end of the day, it's your life, right? And you need to accept the consequences. Like if it make it, fantastic, good for you. If it doesn't make it, then well, at least you know that you tried. So I think the worst advice will be, don't do lah, it's not for you, So don't listen to too much about this. If you think that this is something that you want to go ahead, give it a try first. At least you give yourself that few months or even like half a year to test out the whole entire journey. Do you like it or not? If you don't like it, then you stop, right?
Yeah,
At least you try it out.
You can always turn back.
Correct, yeah.
Got it. All right, last question. In 1 year's time, right, what tangible things will need to happen to your life to make it the best year ever?
Wow, tangible things. Okay, I want to really automate the entire process. So right now, in the past few years, I felt that even though I'm making income, right, as a speaker, I'm always making active income. That means if I don't speak, there is no income, right? So my goal is to automate my community in a way that it can be on autopilot. And then there are still people who see the value in my community and want to build this together with me. They can still join without me speaking all the time. So I want to have automation funnel and still build my business at the same time, enjoying a lot of free time on my own to
do what you love.
Do what I love, go travel, read, go and network, learn from different investors and all this.
All right, Chloe, thanks so much for coming on this podcast.
Thank you.
If you have listened to the end, please do check out Chloe's social media channels. I think it's very, very easy to find. I'll leave links in the video description as well. And please do check out her Telegram channel as well, right? Is there any other things you'd like to share, Chloe?
I think at the end of the day is there are a lot of investing resources out there. Just want to make sure that, it's good to explore, right? I never say that trading is bad. I never say that options is bad. I think everything is good. But if you try out so many different ways and if you still cannot make consistent income or profits, then you need to reflect and really ask yourself what truly worked for you and really go and find that method. If you really don't know, I think sometimes just doing the simple things like buying S&P 500 will do much more long-term benefits to your portfolio than you trying to keep on cracking your head trying to find the next big thing.
Yeah, it's a self-awareness thing.
It's being self-aware.
At the end of the day, we just need to want options trading, investing. These are ways to just earn an additional income.
Yes.
I know people who don't give a shit about investing at all, but they are multimillionaires because they are damn good at what they do in their own businesses,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
So that might be for you. That might be you being a FA, property agent. So I would say options trading or like investing, these are just a few ways, and you need to come to the realization where probably this is not for me.
Yeah.
Because this is a very dangerous thing, right?
Yes.
Because like I'm sure you've made trades where you have cost you. It's a different kind of profession. Like it's not guaranteed that you will earn because you can lose a lot. What kind of job will you join or hire?
That's right.
Imagine someone hire you then, you'll lose 20K. It doesn't make sense, right? But there is options.
Yeah. And that is investing as well. Stock market can be very, very ruthless. So you must have to make sure you have the right mindset. But sometimes in order to develop the right mindset, you kind of have to lose money from at first.
Market tuition.
Yeah, market tuition, right? And then you learn. So there's no harm trying out different things, but at the end of the day, be self-aware. And the moment that you are self-aware and the sooner that you really start to adopt a method that truly works for you, the sooner you become a millionaire. Really.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Chloe, thanks so much. I'll see you probably online. I don't know whether you're going to run any YouTube as well. I'll definitely be following up your content as well, just to see where your journey is in terms of creating what you want 1 year from now. So automated systems.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, your channel as well. I'll check things out as well.
Thank you so much,
All right,
JJ.
thank you so much.
Thank you.